One quick note before we move on to making the cutouts in the panel is that a lot of times you'll want to go and refine or adjust the curves that you created for the outer edges or any other curve for that matter. And you'll notice as I move the control vertices around, it tends to be a bit sluggish. And this is because the curve fill is doing its calculations and refilling this curve on the fly. In order to maintain responsiveness of your modeling curves here, it's best to just turn off the curve fill temporarily. Then click your curve that you want to adjust and you can see it's much more responsive. So that's just a quick note, and when you're done, you just go ahead and click the eye to turn that back on. Now, in order to create the cutouts that we have on the side panel, we'll need to build another set of curves. One closed curve for each of the cutouts here. And any of these curves that we have will work. B-splines, Bezier curves, or standard curves. They'll work for us. However, just as we built this curve in a counterclockwise direction, we have to build the cutouts in a clockwise direction. Now, in order to maintain performance while I build this curve, I'm just going to turn off the curve fill operation there. And I'm also going to turn on the mesh constraint, background constraint. I'm going to double check it just to make sure that handle constraint is active. And I'm just going to go ahead and start making curves on the same layer that I have the original curves. Now I'm going to make sure that this is a closed curve, and there we go. Now I'm going to activate the curve fill, and there we are. We can see that it's created a hole, a negative space where we had our curve. Now I'm going to pause the recording while I build the curves for the rest of the holes on this side of the shoe. Now let's say, for example, you kind of get spaced out like I often do, and you inadvertently made your curve in a counterclockwise direction. All right, and you go ahead and you turn on your fill, and lo and behold, you have cutouts where you have the curves made in a clockwise direction, but the counterclockwise curve you made here is filled. Well, there's an easy fix for that. Not the end of the world. Just go ahead, hit the escape key, be sure that you're in like polygon mode. Select that polygon and it will probably activate it for editing. So you just hit the escape key once to get out of the edit mode, and then hit the F key. And that will flip the head and tail of that polygon, and it will assume that it's created now in a clockwise direction.